Hello everyone. Good morning once again. Dan the Glassman here, and you're watching the Glassman's World. So today in my world, what's going on is I am almost completing my guitar bridge. Finally, guys. If you can see, I have the holes drilled out. I have this piece here, which is the for the saddle. And that's going to get carved out right there. Nice and perfect. And make sure that's going to fit in there just right, nice and snug. So the saddle's going to fit in there. It's going to go in just enough to where I'll probably set it, say probably set it about there. So, let's see. Yeah, that's a good set right there. So we actually don't need to go in too deep. That's interesting. Compared to what I have this set at, you know, we really only have to go in about that deep. From what I can see, this to be already set up at. Yeah, and that is the bigger side there. So this one, I don't think we have to set it as deep as what it came in on the other one. Trying to use my thumb now as a guide right there. So that's all. That's just how deep I need to go in. So not very deep actually. I may actually be there in some spots. So we're gonna change this mark here. So what I did is I took the mark from this one here, but this is a little bit different of a bridge with a little bit different of a depth. And you can see I have that marked right there. And that's actually a hairline above what I need it to be. So I'm trying to mark it and making sure that it only needs to go in that much actually. Interesting. Okay. So we take our mark down. Uh-oh. Let's make sure that this is working. Okay. You know, what I should do is probably just get a piece of tape. It's probably the safest thing. I just get a little piece of tape here to mark it. Alright. So we're just going to take this tape right here and try to put it about as deep as I'm thinking it needs to go. But I believe that's it right there. Doesn't have to go in too deep. Yep. About right there. And I'll just fold it over. There, now we got our guideline here. So now we know how deep we need to make this. So this has been taking, I don't know, a good month or so to get this all completely done. Quite a bit of time compared to what I was thinking it would take. And I don't know how long it would have taken if I sent my guitar away, or how much money I'm saving at this point by hand carving this, making all of this all by hand, all by scratch, which is really awesome to be able to say that I've made my own guitar bridge. You know, this is an accomplishment in itself here. And if I can get this to set right this time, you know, last year I simply just glued the cracked bridge back together. And it worked. It worked for a year. I was able to play my guitar, play music. You know, had a lot of different videos. We even started the Music Mondays. And then, right after I started Music Mondays, is pretty much when we lost our guitar bridge. And I haven't played since. So whenever that was, the last Music Monday, that'll tell us how long I've been working on this. So we'll have to check that out. I'll have to archive that. Maybe we'll put that link of the video of the last Music Monday. Maybe we'll put that in the description below. And that way you guys can check out the last time I performed, which was actually when I started learning the song Richmond, North of Richmond by, what's his name, Oliver Anthony? Which that's actually not even his real name. I believe his grandfather's name was Oliver. So it's a tribute to his grandfather, which is really cool. Alright, let me just double check and make sure that my line is not going to go too deep anywhere. Yeah, that gives me a good 3 or 4 millimeters from the bottom, so we definitely won't bottom out and go too far deep in here. So I don't know if you've ever hand carved anything. This is quite satisfying to be able to do this. Time consuming, but you know, being that I'm a glass blower, I can make my own time. It's Sunday. I usually don't take any side jobs or extra work on the weekends. That way I can spend time with my family on Saturdays and Sundays, and then if we have other things to do, like sometimes, you know, me and my wife are out vending and at like different craft shows or markets and things like that. And so that gives us that free time as well, just in case we want to do that. Which my wife went out yesterday. I think she got herself a few new interested clients, individuals who want to become chemical free and learn how they can reduce the chemical burden that they're putting in their bodies, you know, using different chemicals in their homes and stuff. So my wife sells Norwex. She's a Norwex consultant. And we're always promoting and endorsing it, trying to get people to live a more natural way, natural lifestyle. As you can see, you know, I'm doing this the natural way. I'm not even using any of my power tools or anything like that. You know, I really do like to get back to nature and to do things in this sort of way. So I don't know. To me, it's I don't know. I find it kind of therapeutic and beneficial. I really like it. It's nice. It's relaxing to be able to just sit here and carve this out. You know, now I got a guideline, so I know how deep I can go. And I don't see, most of the time when they do this, they have a special jig that holds this in place, and then you put a router in here, and you just simply go done. That quick and easy. But I don't have a router. I've never used a router, so even if I had a router, I might mess this thing up. You know, I've never used one, so I wouldn't want to practice my first router run on something like this. Even though this whole thing here is a complete experiment, anyways. You know, that's the cool thing about this, is doing it all by hand. This whole thing is an experiment. It's not like I ever just sat here and whittled away all day. You know, back when I was like 12 years old, 13 years old, when I first moved here to Albuquerque, in 6th grade, I took a whittling class. I learned how to hand carve some wood, but that was in 6th grade, guys. You know, I'm 40 some years old. That was a long, long time ago. But I guess, you know, it's a skill that I picked up in my life. Something that I learned that I can do, that apparently I still know how to do. And have been able to do it safely with minimal cuts. Actually, not very many cuts. If anything, I kind of scraped up my finger there a little bit on the razor blade the other day. But other than that, it's been fairly smooth, no injuries as of yet. Let's not make that happen here now. A lot of times injuries occur when you are rushing, you're not paying attention, you're not focused on what you're doing, getting distracted. Maybe someone's trying to talk to you. Maybe you're on a live feed talking to others. You know, cool thing is I've been blowing glass since 95, and I started doing live demonstrations around 97. So ever since 97, I've been used to doing like work live in front of people. And that's a very intricate process, you know, blowing glass. And man, that's coming out really nice. I'm really digging this. I'm happy with it. That looks good. You can see how it's all getting cut out nicely. I got the hole drilled out already. It's all in there. The holes they're a little bit smaller than I need them to be. And a couple of them I noticed are not perfectly in alignment. So I hope that's not going to mess up anything, but I can probably bore the holes up a little bit, which I need to do anyways. And then bring those like I'm going to have to hand carve little little divots or grooves here, so the string sits in there. So when you have the guitar bridge, I'll here's the old one here. Let me show you how it looks. Kind of like water drops. You see that? How they're shaped? So they're round, and that's nice and straight right there. when you put these together on top of each other, you can see that the holes do match up. But then when you take a really close look in there, you can see that like some of the holes can be moved over slightly, or I don't know. It looks really good. It's pretty good. This one here, I think needs to be lifted up some. Yeah, but other than that, it's coming out pretty good. So we're going to keep on hand carving this here. And I'm just trying to do a little bit at a time on these videos. And then we'll put this all in a series on a playlist on how to do a guitar bridge by hand. And hopefully others will be able to watch these videos and have the confidence in knowing that they may be able to do it as well. You know, I don't have a whole bunch of tools on hand. So I, you know, in my whole life, I've always learned to make do, and to, you know, whatever you got, you just make it work. So I didn't have a whole bunch of power tools and, you know, disc sanders and all these things. So I've just been going at this by hand here. And so, yeah, I know a lot of other individuals, they may not have a whole bunch of tools. You know, you go watch these other videos, and it's like, oh man, I don't even have the proper this or the proper that. Like, I can't even do any of this DIY stuff, right? But for me, I'm like, well, if you don't got those things, you can always figure it out. You know, there's always the indigenous people, the natives here, those who are all before us, all our ancestors, they all had to figure it out. And they didn't all have all this technology at their grasp like we do. And I think sometimes the technology tends to limit us or make us think like that there is no other way to do it. Like, oh, I don't got a 3D printer, I can't make this. Or, no, I don't have a this or that, you know. I don't have a drill press. I don't have a table saw to strip this piece of wood down. You know, remember? This piece of wood was like twice as thick, 3 times as thick, remember? And I had to cut it all the way down in half, shaping it. This used to be a big old chunk of just a rectangle. And I was able to get all the shapes and grooves in there. And then I sanded it down, so now it's all nice and smooth all the way down. I don't know if you can see how it's tapered. And these are really nice and smooth now. There's no more bumps and grooves, except for the where I drilled. I can feel a little bit here, so I'm gonna have to sand those down a little bit. I noticed when I drilled through also took out a little chunk right there, so I may have to add a little bit of glue and some sawdust there, and we'll fix it. And then I'll probably have to re-drill through. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that'll be okay. It's only one little spot. If I can get all of this covered in glue, then it should be all right to get stuck back onto the guitar. But yeah, there's little pieces here and there that I can feel is needs to be worked out. Alright, but let's just keep working on this here. This is the most important part right now, and the most intricate part. trying to get in there just as deep. You know, I'm really close. Like, let's see if I can find a good depth right there. You can see how close that really is. It's like a millimeter away. Like 1 or 2 millimeters, 1.5 millimeters. It's pretty amazing. I'm so limited with the tools that I have. And I've been able to figure out, like, okay, well, I don't have this, I don't have that. But I do have this and I do have that. So let me see if I can make it work. I'm really grateful I found this X-Acto in my stuff. You know, something that I've always had around, but I've never really used it that much. So it's nice to be able to finally put it to use. Alright, I know somewhere, is that where the line is? Yeah, okay. I have it all measured out. So I just want to make sure that I'm staying where I need to. I can always get bigger. I'm trying to keep it in a within the you know, within the mold, within its shape here. Trying to go around this drilled out hole. I think maybe those edges, I'll do those last. I'll figure out how to get into those areas and make them rounded, little half circles. Man, that's right there. I think that I'm at the point now where I just got to be real careful not to go much deeper than the tape here. Oh yeah, this is gonna work really nice. Here, let me see if I can go a little closer for you guys. Alright, that spot right there, that looks deep enough. And we can always fine tune it. It's gonna be fun to get all these little chunks and pieces out. I'm gonna see it all come together, all into shape here soon. I gotta remember to stay patient though. Try not to rush. You don't want to make any bad cuts or accidentally cut myself. So I still gotta Stay real careful and cautious here. Make sure I'm paying attention to what I'm doing. Keeping the lines nice and straight. I love that. This color, it's really close. You know, this has been finished. This one hasn't even been finished yet. That's the natural color of the wood there. That is so beautiful. It's gonna be perfect for my guitar. I cannot wait till my guitar is ready. It's gonna be all fixed here, maybe in a day or two. If I can actually get the clamps, the proper clamps, or figure out how I can. I've seen ways where they have a screw that comes up through the hole here on each side, and it holds down like another piece, like a mold. And basically what I'm thinking I can do is just put a couple of pieces of like leather or something on the sides here, a piece of wood going right on top, and holding it all down to the body of the guitar. I've seen these really cool. They sell them. They're made to set your guitar bridge into place. It's only $12. I guess I could order it and wait a few more days, or I can just figure out how to clamp it all down. And I have these C clamps, but they're not long enough. I think they're just barely short. So maybe I'll just go get some better proper C clamps, and then I'll have the right ones. And then I can offer to do this as a service. You know, I can do a guitar bridge repair. I can do a lot of different things with guitar repairs now. You know, every time that I have to make a repair on my guitar, it's another little bit of experience on learning what else I can do in my life, in the Glassman's world here. And guitar repair now, and intonation, and doing things like this is another thing I can offer, another service that I can offer. How many other guitarists would actually take the time to sit there and hand carve their own bridge out? You know, and spend the time. You know, like I said, I've been taking. It's probably been about a month that I've been working on this. All right, I think we're at that depth there, right around the hole. I'm just gonna have to carve around the hole too. But yeah, that's pretty much as deep as it needs to go right there. Nice. Okay. It is so close. If I can get this side here complete, we can actually start scraping out the wood here. Maybe I'll cut it out. I'm not sure exactly. I don't have a tool skinny enough. I don't know if my knife is skinny enough to actually get in there and scrape it out. without damaging the sides. Because I got to make sure that this stays nice and straight, cutting into it nice and straight down, so the saddle fits in there just perfectly, you know, without too much of a, like, you don't want it to wobble at all. And this blade's probably getting duller and duller every time, so it feels like it's not cutting as nice as it was before. So it's a little bit slow going here. I think it can still go about a millimeter. Yeah, pretty much a millimeter on each side. There's like some spots where it's like really, really deep, like right there. It's a right on point. Slowly coming out, guys. And so I don't know if you can see, but it also has that little bit of an angle. It's closer here than it is there. We had to measure that out precisely as well to make it match up. I don't know if you see that, but they pretty much match up right there. And you can see how deep this one is. Let's see, we go in there. Oh yeah, that is basically as deep as all the way to, yep. So that's exactly where we need it to be, is as deep as that. It's pretty much identical. The thickness is pretty much identical here. Yeah, it's almost identical. This is really cool. I don't know what this would cost to have someone make you a handmade, hand carved guitar bridge, but this is taking me quite some time. You know, I do some videos and I give you guys a little bit of it, but I really don't show you the whole thing. You know, although with this, I kind of want to show you a little bit more than what I normally do. I want to actually take out a bunch of this here, and we can get in there and get a little bit deeper into this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually start carving it out from the center here, and taking out little slices of it here. So what I'm doing is I'm going at a little bit of an angle here towards my side cut, being able to get that piece or that chunk out. Here, watch, I'll show you what I'm doing here. So as you can see, I've got quite a bit of a chunk coming out right here. So what I'm doing is I'm angling this and cutting towards the side wall there, which is taking out this center piece here, just like a little bit at a time, just a sliver at a time. Now what I was thinking is if I can find myself one of those little tiny skinny a real skinny screwdriver, you know, one of those ones for the little tiny screws. I don't know if we even have one up here or not. I might better use some sort of a tool like that where I can get in there and scrape it out with it really, really skinny. You know, I was thinking maybe I could use the knife here. I'm just worried of what accident we had before, which, remember we had that big old divot that was taken out on the side? Look at that. It's very tiny now. So I had to sand this all down, and I had to taper this part coming down this way, that it really took that out, and you could barely even see it now. So that's really cool. But I'm worried about that happening inside here and taking up a little bit more than what should be coming up. Yeah, I guess if I'm just real careful and gentle like that, I can actually, oops. Well, where's all that going? I'm gonna have a lot of wood all everywhere. I have to be careful. Don't want to get a bunch of wood chips all over the place. So I'll try to cover it here with my thumb. Don't allow it to fly. Cool. Slowly coming out, guys. Now you can see it, really. You can really see the difference there. Alright, so I'm going to keep on doing this. I'm not going to keep you guys here the whole time. Like I said, this isn't kind of boring to watch. Not so exciting. But I know some people like to sit here and watch others work. I'm trying to figure out how they can do things like this without tools or with limited tools. Wow, that's really cool to see that depth now. Yeah, having a flat chisel to come in and scrape it, that would be ideal. I'm going to have to actually look for that screwdriver, that little mini screwdriver. I think that'll be perfect actually to really get this out. However, this is working pretty good too. Just taking a knife, going in there on one side of the wall here, and then I'm just kind of scraping it over. Just right to the edge, to the other side. Try not to cause any damage on the edge of the wood there. And I gotta be real careful at this spot right here. Oh, sounds like maybe got someone awake. That little one here. That's probably our son waking up. Alright, you guys. Well, I'm going to keep on working on this here. I'm going to let y'all go. On the next video, hopefully this will be all done and carved out perfectly and ready for gluing. Alright, you guys. So thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back with more of this, and we'll see if this is going to fit in there. It's not long enough just yet. We got to get the edges right. Very soon. Really soon, guys. We're going to have this all ready to go. Alright, well, we're going to keep on working on this. But I'm going to let y'all go. You guys have a good day. Love and blessings. We're going to keep on working on this and get this guitar ready.